Chapter 1. Your position on the cash flow quadrant depends on where your money comes from. Generally, people can be grouped into 4 distinct classes based on where their money comes from, and the most efficient tool for this classification is the cash flow quadrant, which is a table divided into 4 areas. E and S quadrants are on the left side, and B and I quadrants are on the right side. E for employee, S for small business or self-employed, B for big business, I for investor. Based on where our cash comes from, each of us resides in at least one of these 4 quadrants. Most of us are employees who depend solely on paychecks, while others are self-employed. Employees and self-employed people occupy the left section of the cash flow quadrant. The quadrant's right section is for people who make their money from their businesses or their investments. The cash flow quadrant is an effective way to group people according to their sources of income. Each section of the cash flow quadrant is unique, and the individuals within each one share common characteristics. This is mainly because different methods of income generation require different frames of mind, different technical skills, and different educational paths. Different people are attracted to different quadrants. Yes, money is all the same. However, the way it is earned is vastly different. While achieving financial freedom is possible in all 4 of the quadrants, the skills of a B or I will help you attain your financial goals faster. Successful E's need to become successful I's to ensure their financial security during retirement. We will discuss this deeper later in the summary. Which quadrant do you generate the greater part of your income from? The first step to financial freedom is understanding how the cash flow quadrant works. Once you know what the quadrant is all about, you will realize your current position on it and will be able to visualize where you want to be. To be successful in the information age, a person needs information from all 4 quadrants. Robert Kiyosaki. The quadrant's primary purpose is to show you where you are today and help you create a plan for where you want to be in the future as you choose your own route to financial freedom. In the coming chapter, we will take a closer look at each of the 4 quadrants and the unique characteristics of the people who reside in them. Chapter 2. The 4 quadrants and the different types of people that occupy them. Essentially, it is the internal differences of our core values, strengths, weaknesses, and interests that influence which quadrant we choose to make our living from. Here are some of the generalities that separate people in one quadrant from those in another. Quadrant 1. The employee. Individuals in this quadrant desire security, and they seek out a lifestyle that will give this to them. The E's shy away from taking risks and want their fear reduced by the presence of some level of certainty. So when it comes to employment, they seek security and strong agreements. To the E's, it doesn't matter what a job entails. All they care about is the contractual agreement they have with the person or organization that hires them. We all respond differently to money and the emotions attached to it, and the quadrant we choose to generate our income from is usually determined by how we respond to those emotions. Robert Kiyosaki. Quadrant 2. The self-employed. According to Robert Kiyosaki, this is a group of do-it-yourselfers. This set of people likes to do things their own way and wants to be their own boss. When it comes to money, an average S doesn't like to have their income dependent on other people. For the S's, money isn't the most important thing about their work. Being respected as experts in their fields and having the freedom to do things their way are more valuable than mere money. Quadrant 3. The business owner. The Bs like to surround themselves with smart people from all four categories, E, S, B, and I. These people build a system that lets other people work for them. They like to hire competent talents and delegate as many tasks as possible. The S type of business versus the B type of business. Being self-employed or owning a small business doesn't put you in the B quadrant. The core difference between the two quadrants is this: an S owns a job, and a B has a system and then employs competent people to operate the system. Being a successful B requires having one's own systems and the ability to lead people. And for S's to evolve into Bs, they need to convert who they are and what they know into a system. Unfortunately, many aren't able to do that because of their reluctance to let other people in. Quadrant 4, the investors. Individuals in this quadrant make money with money. They have no need for a job because their money is busy making more money for them. The I quadrant is the turf of the rich. 70% of an average I's income comes from investments. Regardless of which quadrant you currently make your money in, if you hope someday to be rich, you ultimately must make your way to the I quadrant. It's in the I quadrant that money becomes true wealth. Did you know? It doesn't take money to make money. Here is all it takes to make money: a dream, a willingness to learn, determination, and the ability to use your innate assets properly and to know which quadrant is the right one for you to generate your income. Chapter 3. There is a huge difference between being rich and being wealthy. Contrary to popular belief, being rich isn't the same as being wealthy. Robert Kiyosaki says wealth is the number of days you can survive without you or anyone else in your household doing any job and still maintain your standard of living. For instance, if you spend $5,000 a month and you have $20,000 in savings, your wealth is approximately 4 months or 120 days. Your wealth is a measure of time, not the dollars you amass. The amount of money you make doesn't really matter in the long run. What matters most above all else is how much money you keep and how long that money works for you. There are many people out there who make a lot of money, but all of their money gets spent on covering their expenses. Instead of investing their money in assets, many people go shopping every time they make a little more money. They often buy a fancy property, which leads to long-term debt and more hard work. No matter how much money they make, they spend it almost as soon as it comes in. The problem with this financial approach is that there is almost nobody who achieves financial freedom following it. One unique thing about people who earn their money from the I quadrant is that they focus on having their money make money. As we discussed in the previous chapter, a percentage of your income should be put into investments, no matter how much money you make. The I quadrant is based on the idea that your money works hard so you don't have to work. Therefore, to achieve financial freedom, you must make your way to the I quadrant where your money makes more money. The I quadrant is the quadrant for working less, earning more, and paying less in taxes. Robert Kiyosaki. The main reason why so many people are afraid to become investors can be summed up to one word: risk. Most people despise the idea of handing over their hard-earned money and possibly not having it come back. They're so afraid of losing that they choose not to invest, no matter how much money they could make in return. The truth is, if you want to amass wealth, you must learn how to take risks. Learn to be an investor. People who take risks change the world. Few people ever achieve true financial freedom without taking risks. Chapter 4. Own a business system and leverage others to work the system for you. The conventional life advice in our society is this: go to school, get good grades, and then get a good, safe, secure job. The problem with this path of life is that it's mainly focused on the left side of the cash flow quadrant, and people who follow it seldom end up on the right side. If you look around today, you'll discover that 90% of the population is working on the left side of the cash flow quadrant. The reason for this is that our educational system is not structured to teach money and financial intelligence. Students are basically trained to be employees or self-employed. After leaving school, they often end up with lots of expenses and may fall into debt. This means they must cling ever tighter to a job or to professional security just to pay the bills. And usually, due to their lack of financial intelligence, they find it hard to transition to the right side of the quadrant to become a business owner, B, and investor, I. As said in the previous chapter, if you want to be truly wealthy and financially free, you must move to the right side of the cash flow quadrant, and the best way to do this is to move from an E or an S to a B. In moving to the B quadrant, your primary aim is to own a system and have people work that system for you. You can build the business system yourself, or you can look for a system to acquire. Think of the system as your bridge to financial freedom, the bridge that will help you get from the left side of the cash flow quadrant to the right side. Your business system is what will take you from living paycheck to becoming financially independent. There are 3 main classes of business systems. Traditional C corporations, where you create your own system. Franchises, where you purchase someone else's system. Network marketing, where you buy into and become part of an existing system. In the next section, we will take a look at how you can quickly transition to the right side of the cash flow quadrant using any of these 3 business systems. Chapter 5. The main paths to becoming a successful business owner. So, how do you become a business owner? According to Robert Kiyosaki, there are 3 ways you can make it to the B quadrant quickly. 1. Find a mentor. Find someone who has already done what you want to do and is successful at doing it, and let them guide you. You can also join a big corporation in your chosen field, spend some years working there, and learn all the different aspects of the business. Once you've learned enough, you can then leave to start your own business. Working for a thriving major company is like being paid by your mentor. On your journey to building your own system, be careful not to mistake advisors for mentors. Advisors are people who tell you how to do something but may not have personally done it. The S quadrant is the playground for most advisors. There are many S's out there trying to teach people how to be a B or an I. Take advice with caution. While it's wise to keep an open mind, always be aware of which quadrant the advice is coming from. Robert Kiyosaki. 2. Buy a franchise. If you don't want to go through the hurdle of building your own business system, you can acquire a franchise. Buying a franchise is like buying a tried and proven system. So instead of trying to develop your own system from scratch, you will simply have to focus on developing your team. Another big upside of buying a franchise is that banks like to make loans to businesses with good, proven systems. While most banks won't loan money for a small startup business, they'll loan money for a franchise. Why? Because they know the importance of systems and how starting with a good system lowers their risk. However, it is worth noting that franchises are hard for people with an S quadrant mentality. So if you like to do things your own way, think twice before buying a franchise. You must be prepared to do everything the way the franchisors tell you. Here, you might own the system, but that doesn't mean you'll single-handedly call the shots. First, master both the system and the people, then go ahead and do your own thing. 3. Get involved in network marketing. Network marketing is a newer form of business system which often gets a bad rap. Without due diligence, many people look at network marketing suspiciously and think of it as a scam. If you do some research, however, you will discover that many people have made a positive impact on their financial futures and others by diligently building successful network marketing businesses. For a reasonable entry fee, often about a few $100s, you can buy into an existing system and immediately start building a business. And because of today's advancement in technology, this can be done almost entirely online and automated. The network marketing software will handle the paperwork, order processing, distribution, and accounting. All you have to do is focus on building your business. In a nutshell, in this information age, the risk in becoming a successful business owner is greatly reduced, and the opportunity to build a system or leverage an existing business system is available to virtually anyone. Franchises and network marketing have taken away the hard part of developing a system. All you have to do is acquire the rights to a proven system, and then your only job is to develop your team. Chapter 7. To take control of your cash flow and turn your money into assets. Many people believe that all their financial problems will be taken care of once they start making more money. But in most cases, more money only causes bigger problems. The truth is, more money will not solve the problem if cash flow management is the main issue. Most people simply get poorer as they make more money. Why? Because they often increase their spending and get deeper into debt every time they get a pay raise. So, to fast-track your journey to financial freedom, it is essential that you take control of your cash flow. As you work towards being financially free, you must always remember that each of your liabilities or debts makes you someone else's asset. For every liability, such as a car loan, school loan, credit card, and mortgage, you are signing up to work for the people lending the money. Over a period of time, you'll be working hard to line someone else's pocket. The creditor will often say, "Because of your good credit, we'd like to offer you a bill consolidation loan." Or, "Would you like to open a line of credit just in case you need some extra money in the future?" Credit card companies aren't offering to lend you more money just because they like you so much. No, they are simply helping you increase your liability column so that you can invariably bolster their own asset column. The people who have the understanding of the power of financial numbers rule out those who do not. Robert Kiyosaki. To start managing your cash flow, Robert Kiyosaki says you should always pay yourself first. Put aside a set percentage from each paycheck you receive. Deposit that money into an investment savings account and never take it out until you are ready to invest it. Once you start paying yourself first, your next goal is to reduce your personal consumer debt. If you have credit cards with outstanding balances, discipline yourself to start using just 1 or 2 cards. Ensure that any new charges are paid off in full every month. Do not incur any more long-term debt. Also, work towards paying off your car loan and mortgage as soon as you can. When you are completely debt-free, take the monthly amount you were paying on your previous debt and put that money toward investments. Build your asset column. Conclusion. We each fall into one of 4 distinct regions of the cash flow quadrant depending on the source of our income. People on the left side of the quadrant, the E's and the S's, are those who work for other people and most often live from paycheck to paycheck. Individuals on the right side of the quadrant, the B's and the I's, are those who get other people or their money to work for them. More often than not, the people on the right side of the cash flow quadrant find it easy to attain financial freedom. However, regardless of which side of the cash flow quadrant you're currently on, you can be financially free. You just have to start by changing your mindset and being true to yourself. Become a long-term investor as fast as you can. Try as much as possible to minimize your debt and liabilities. Find out how much money invested per month for how many months at a realistic return on investment, ROI, it will take to reach your goal of gaining financial freedom. Once you make the commitment to live within your means and take control of your cash flow, life will only get easier and easier. Try this. Sit down and draw out a plan to get control of your spending habits. The direction of cash flow is everything. If all the money that comes in for you goes towards paying debt and piling up liability, financial freedom will only be a pipe dream. Rich people focus their efforts on acquiring assets, not working harder. So stop amassing liabilities and start making your money work for you through investments.